They arrested Don Lemon. Somebody went, yes, like good. I don't know. I
didn't hear him.
It's not good to arrest him. I don't, you know.
Well, I'm going to say he violated the FACE Act. He went into a church, disrupted their worship, and then later in an interview compared them to white supremacists. That's not journalism. That's activism. I had an experience with Don Lemon.
But does it warrant getting arrested?
Disrupting a worship service, stopping people's right to worship God, that is violation of the FACE Act. And under the Biden administration, pro-lifers were sent to prison up to 11 years for praying in front of an abortion clinic, and they were convicted under the FACE Act. So I don't think that's journalism. That's not First Amendment, going in and harassing people in the middle of church. And, you know, Don Lemon came to my office with the Tesla takedown guy, the guy that organized it, and we had to call Capitol Police.
Okay, well, but can we just charge him with not cool, man?
I completely support his work.
Probably, from his standpoint, the best thing that could happen to him, he's getting, you know, he had no viewers, he was a failure, he was a failed host, and now he's in the news. I didn't know anything about
it. Funny that, but not as funny, frankly, as the FAFO comeuppance being experienced by CNN has-been Don Lemon. Last seen in what can only be described as the invasion of a Baptist church in Minnesota, which was targeted last month by anti-Trump, anti-immigration enforcement protesters because of claims the pastor had ties to ICE. Here's a bit of what that looked like. And Don Lemon himself, walking or in fact crossing the line between journalist and activist, also confronted the pastor in question.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yeah. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. Yeah. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, here the very Christian Lemon reveled in how his group chased people out of the church, saying the action he participated in was traumatic and uncomfortable. And that was the whole point.
You know, I've imagined it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
Yes, well, Lemon may have gotten himself in a bit of trouble here because guess what? Federally speaking, that sort of trouble is a bit of a no-no. Because while the First Amendment protects freedom of speech, it also protects freedom of worship and the right to worship unmolested by people like Don Lemon. And thanks to something called the FACE Act, which was designed in part and perhaps ironically to protect access to abortion clinics, it is specifically a federal crime to interfere with services at religious houses of worship. And as they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, because Lemon has now been arrested and indicted on 2 counts by a federal grand jury on charges of federal civil rights violations, to which I say, good. Of course, the usual suspects are losing their mind. MS Now, you'll remember it as MSNBC, is calling the FACE Act an obscure law that's being used against him. Don't you love this reasoning? This is the weirdest defense I've heard since they were all screaming that Renee Good shouldn't have been shot because she was wearing a beanie. And ironically, an anti-Trump outfit calling itself, get this, the Not Above the Law Coalition, has issued a furious statement suggesting that, well, maybe in this case, Don Lemon should be above the law. Because if what I just showed you wasn't enough to convince you that Lemon wasn't going there as a journalist, but rather as part of the mob, well, look at this, where Lemon talks on camera about hiding information about their mission so as not to blow their cover.
It may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here. So that is what I could say.
Great work, Don. Your post-CNN relevance deprivation syndrome could potentially land you in the clink for up to a year. It's the ultimate truth bomb. Everyone knows, but everyone forgets. Actions have consequences.